Okay, thanks for coming on the webinar today. My name's Wes. Really appreciate you coming on for hopefully no more than half an hour and maybe 40 minutes. I've got loads of stuff to get through on the webinar this morning, so I'll be as quick as I can. I'm just going to jump right into the presentation. One of the things I'm going to do later on is show you a live demo of the chatbot in action. I am going to take a recording of this as well, so I'll send you the link out to the recording afterwards because there will be quite a lot of information on this. You might want some time just to sort of re-look at the video and digest it, so I'll jump right in. So first of all, I'm just going to go through a quick little bit about us as Total Chatbots. Then I'm just going to jump into a bit about chatbot technology. Basically, about 99% of people we speak to still don't know what a chatbot really does. So I think it's really useful just to cover off the basics of how a chatbot can help your business. And then I'm just going to go into the February-March dealer sales event chatbot. So a little bit about us. So our mission is really to create automotive industry leading chatbots. We want to be the best in the industry at chatbot technology. And I'll obviously go into a little bit more about what that technology can do. Who are we? So I'm Wes, I'm the co-founder of the business. My background is in automotive, so I've had experience mainly from the manufacturer side of things. I've spent most of my time working in field-based jobs, helping dealers to try and hit their new car targets. And I'm passionate about technology and how that can improve the sales and customer experience. My business partner, Stephen, he has over 20 years automotive industry experience. He runs a digital marketing agency as well, and basically a lot of his work is trying to help dealers with their marketing strategy, again all designed to improve sales. I guess if there's one message from this, it's that we love the car industry and we're very familiar with the pressures that dealers have at this time of year. New car manufacturer targets need to be hit. There's a lot of pressure, and events are a very important part of being able to manage to hit those targets. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to create a chatbot within this sphere, because we really believe a chatbot will take that event experience to the next level. So just a little bit about chatbot technology, just to give you a bit of background. So consumer buying habits have changed significantly, even in the last few years. And we hear a lot of stuff in the news about millennials are struggling with face-to-face communication, dealers reporting that year after year footfall coming into the showroom is falling. And a lot of that is because most shoppers are now doing their research online. You don't get the tire kickers that you used to from sort of 10 years ago. Most people doing their research online, and so therefore it's about how can you do the best possible job of capturing those people's attention as high up in the funnel as possible. Alongside that, there's this revolution in messaging. So at last count, there are over 4.1 billion users using messaging apps. That's actually now more than the 4 largest social media networks. So again, you might be familiar with this. You're probably using WhatsApp more and Facebook Messenger more than you ever have. And that sort of rings true with the masses, really. Facebook have done a study as well and found that 53% of people are more likely to shop with a business that they can message directly. So messaging is absolutely huge, and it's growing exponentially, as you'll see on that green line on the chart there. So it's really important that as a business you have a messaging strategy. And again, chatbots can be a great way of harnessing that and being able to do it at scale. Just a bit of background to the problem. So today's impatient customers, they want that information immediately. They don't want to spend hours browsing a website or looking through brochures. They just have specific questions and they want answers to those questions immediately. And many businesses struggle to meet those demands. You know, most businesses are small to medium enterprises, got limited number of staff, they've got day jobs to do, and lots of priorities to deal with on a daily basis. So it's very hard to meet that 24/7 immediate request for information. So when you have the expectation from consumers and then the reality that businesses are faced with, you end up with this large gap. And the question is, how do you close that gap? Well, the solution to a lot of that can be through chatbots. So a chatbot, in essence, is an online automated virtual assistant, is the way we like to call it. It can sit as a web widget on your website, but really crucially, it can also integrate into these messaging applications. So, for example, if you look at Facebook Messenger, which is where our events bot runs off, you can basically set up a chatbot to run off that platform. And that allows you to engage with those customers 24/7 and in a very personal and immediate sense, and giving them a great customer experience. So for a consumer, the chatbot's always on. It doesn't take a day off. It doesn't get sick. With most people now browsing the internet in the evening on their smartphones, it tailors to that behavior. So you have an instant personal mobile experience that's available 24/7. And importantly, it's also consistent, so when customers are asking questions, they're not going to be getting 5 different answers from maybe a live chat call center versus somebody on your own team. You get a consistent response every time that's high quality, professional. You can bring through rich content such as images, and there's not going to be any spelling or grammar mistakes. For a business, it's great as well, obviously, because you have lower cost involved. You don't have to employ a new head to manage all those inquiries. It frees up your time for your staff to be able to focus on other more productive tasks. And that has knock-on benefits in terms of efficiency, greater customer engagement, and that, as I say, that level of consistency, which is important to your own brand as a business. And then all the insight off the back end is key. So as a business, you can see exactly what questions people have been asking, and how the chatbots responded to those questions, and you can tailor your strategy accordingly based on their feedback. So I just jump into Messenger marketing chatbots. So 1.5 billion people are now using Facebook Messenger every month. And when I speak to a lot of clients, I ask them, what are you doing on Facebook Messenger? And it's really still surprises me how little activity is carried out on Facebook Messenger for many businesses, given the audience that's using this platform on a monthly basis. The beauty of Messenger marketing chatbots is that they're very interactive experiences. So it's not like an email where you send an email out to your customers, cross your fingers and hope that they read it, and then have a very one-way experience from that user where they maybe read the email and either delete it or maybe take some action, but again, very difficult for you to know what action they're taking. A chatbot on Messenger is a very interactive experience. You can bring in their first name, for example, into the chat. You can bring in emojis, and you can really engage that customer with rich content in an interactive way. Because it's on Messenger, obviously, it's on mobile. It's mobile friendly by default. Again, going back to the chatbot benefits, it's 24/7. As I say, you can bring in rich content like videos and images throughout the chat. And as I say, you can also bring in, for example, the user's first name. You can record responses and save them to what we call custom fields. So you could ask a customer, for example, what type of car do you like? Is it a Ford? Is it a BMW? Is it a Honda? And it can bring that answer back into the conversation at a later date. So it feels very much like a personal conversation with the chatbot. It's also very intelligent and targeted. So based on the customer's responses and what they click within the chatbot, you can then tag those people based on those responses and retarget them with specific content relating to their activities. So I'll demonstrate a little bit about how that works when I demo the dealer bot later. So there's 3 key stages really to having a successful messenger marketing chatbot. The first one is to build a list of chatbot subscribers. So essentially that's like a bit like an email list. So what you want to do is build a list of subscribers to your chatbot, build an engaged audience. And you can do that a number of ways, which I'll go into in a second. You then want to engage that audience with rich content. And then finally, you can use that to broadcast compelling messages to your audience. So just in terms of building subscribers, there's a number of ways you can do that. You can set up a specific URL link to your chatbot, which you can email out, you can send to people, and they click on that URL, it takes them into the chatbot. You can do something called Facebook comment to bot. So within your news feed, within Facebook, when you put various posts up on your Facebook page, you can basically say within that post, if somebody puts in a particular comment in that post, then Messenger will send them a message directly to their phone automatically off the back of that. So for example, you could say, come to our event, and if you're interested in finding out more, type VIP in the comments box. And then when they type VIP in, they will get a message directly to their phone from the business, inviting them into the chatbot. So again, very personal touch. Then you've got something called messenger codes. Messenger codes are a little bit like, if you imagine QR codes for Messenger, except much, much more effective than QR codes. So with a QR code, you'll remember you had to usually download a special app for that. It might work and it might not. And ultimately, you scan a QR code, it would still take you to just a basic website. Again, the beauty of a Facebook Messenger code is that it's usually on most people's phones, the ability to scan, because if you have a Messenger account, you have the ability to scan a Messenger code. And the other great thing about it is it's interactive, obviously. So when someone scans that code, they're going into a very interactive, rich experience rather than just a very flat one-way experience. So it's just an example of a sales event letter, for example, that you could, the beauty of this, you can print this, for example, on any invites that you send out to your customers. You could print it on any direct mail. You could print it on decals on your cars. You could print it onto pop-up banners, for example, if you're doing a product placement. So the possibilities of engaging people through these codes are really endless. Then you could create a bespoke landing page, for example. If someone clicks on that landing page, that takes them into the chatbot. And finally, you can use Facebook ads to drive people directly into the chatbot through paid Facebook advertising. Then you want to provide them with valuable content, and take it from me, designing a chatbot that's effective and provides rich content is not easy. Basically what you're designing is a number of different conversational flows, each with lots of engaging and rich content. So you want to be able to bring in the right level of images, the right types of questions, and you want to make sure that it's engaging with the customer and it's leading them on a journey essentially to help you close a sale, but without being too pushy. You can obviously personalize the chatbot using custom fields. Again, when I demo the chatbot, you'll be able to see how that functionality works. And again, you can use things like emojis, and that sort of thing matters. You know, what you want to do is give that customer a really sort of personal, fun experience. Not make it too formal, make it very chatbot, like chatty. I guess the clue's in the name, chatbot, but using emojis can have a really sort of just relaxing impact on the customer. And flow design is key. As I say, we have within the dealer event chatbot alone, we have about 5 or 6 different flows depending on what the customer selects. So whether they want to be reminded later, whether they want to find out more about a particular offer, all of these things link into various different flows. And so it's important that the flow design is good. Then we get onto broadcasting. This is really important. So the beauty of Messenger is that when you build up a captive subscriber base, you can then broadcast messages out to those people. Now, if I look at how effective that is versus, for example, website and email. So if you take the left image here, this would be like a typical website funnel. So let's say you bring 10,000 visitors into your website. You're going to have about maybe a quarter of those people opting into an email. That's still a pretty high stat, to be honest. Usually it'd be less than that. And then if you send an email out, you're lucky if you get 25% open rate. Typically with the dealers that we worked with in the past, it was about 15% of an open rate. Down to a 5% click-through rate. And then you can see as the funnel narrows, it's really, really hard to actually convert into sales off the back of that. The beauty with a chatbot and broadcasting through Messenger is that the open rates are typically around about 80%. So I'll show you an example of this with one of our other clients, but what you then have is you have a very, very captive audience. You've basically got email as it was about 15 years ago, where people would pretty much check every message that came in. And so you get a really, really high open rate and lots of engagement. And then as you go down the funnel from there, that should massively increase your chances of converting customers further down the funnel, which should then naturally increase the level of sales that you make. So essentially a higher open rate and more engaging content should lead you to higher conversions for whatever it is you want to achieve. So I'll just quickly show you a sneak peek of another client of ours that we deal with. This lady is called Lauren Tickner. She's an online business entrepreneur who does basically online coaching. I'll just bring up her dashboard here. So you can see we launched her campaign just towards the back end of December. She was sort of hovering around about 48, 47, 48 subscribers. When we launched the chatbot, you can see the impact that had on our subscriber base. So it shot up to about 239, 240 subscribers. As it stands, she now has 261 captive subscribers on her chatbot. Now, what she can then do is she can see exactly who is actually subscribed to her bot. So this is coming from Facebook data, remember. So we have all of these people who are subscribed to our bots. We can get down to real granular detail on who exactly is subscribed to the chatbot. And if I pick, for example, somebody like, let me just pick a name from here. Let's pick Kelsey Barnwell. I can see a profile picture obviously coming through from Facebook, how she opted into the chatbot, and any tags that have been selected. So we can look at has she selected anything within the bot that just turn my video back on here. Has she selected anyone in the bot that that allows her to allows us to know a little bit more about what she's interested in and what she wants to click. So if I just now go into the broadcasting section here, you'll see there's been a number of broadcasts that Lauren has sent out to her audience. And if I just go along to here, I'll just highlight this so you can see the open rates there. So she sent a number of messages over a period of time, and the open rates have been sometimes above 90%. You would just never get that on an email. So you can see there that was 81%, 82, 89, 90% open rate. So the open rate is really significant, and it's a great way of engaging that captive audience versus email. So let me just go back to the presentation again. I'm just going to now jump into the dealer sales event chatbot. So essentially, there's a number of challenges, again, that we've found from our experience with working with dealers from events. And if you look at one of them is measuring the effectiveness of invites. So you could send out an invite to maybe 3,000 people in your database. And how do you know how effective that is? So you could use something like a parametric code. You could see exactly who scanned that and how many people are engaging in your chatbot conversations. So for the first time, you can really measure the ROI on the sort of the hard copy collateral that you're sending out. In terms of standing out from the crowd, you know, there's lots of dealers doing sales events at this time of year. So how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself? Is it just another sales event from the point of view of the customer? So what can you do to make your event a little bit different? And then follow up. So again, having been involved in a number of dealer events over the years, I see the challenges that dealers have in trying to manage follow-up effectively. And you know, I've seen situations where there's been thousands of invites sent out and the dealer doesn't even manage to follow up a quarter of those invites. Again, that's no fault of their own. It's purely just down to time and resource constraints, and the staff are busy doing other things, you know. So it can be very difficult to manage follow-up effectively on a campaign, and that is the key part really of having a successful sales campaign. So again, the beauty of a chatbot is that it can do all that follow-up for you automatically. And obviously cost as well. So, you know, running an event's expensive. There are events companies out there that will manage your event for you. I have to say I'm a really strong advocate of those companies. They do work, but you know, a lot of that stuff's expensive, and so it's how do you make the most of the return on that investment. So in terms of the dealer sales event bot, what we really want to do is we want to build that captive audience, as I say, using our growth tools. So using the email link, the messenger code, Facebook post comment to bots, Facebook ads, to build that captive audience for your event using their growth tools. Then we want to provide your customers and prospects with an innovative and fun digital experience using chatbots. And finally, maximize that follow-up effectiveness through that broadcasting that I showed you, where you have that really targeted automated messaging based on user activity, typically with your 80% open rate. all of that, as I say, is designed to increase more leads, higher attendance and sales, you know, so we're not doing this for nothing really. The purpose of the chatbot is to make you sell more cars. That's really the fundamental objective of the chatbot. So I'm just going to jump into a live demo now, and hopefully the technology will work here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my phone. Just bear with me. Okay, so hopefully you can see my phone on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scan that code that I showed you on the letter using a messenger code. So remember, we could get this through a number of different channels. We could access this through a URL, a landing page, Facebook ads. There's a number of different ways we could do this. And this time around, they're going to use the messenger code. So imagine this is on a direct mail invite that you might send out. So I'm just going to click on Messenger. There's a number of ways I can scan a code here. So I can either go to the People tab at the bottom, and then click on the scan code icon on the top left that you'll see there, which is just here. Or I could click on the camera icon on the bottom, and I can hold down basically the main screen, and it will say hold your camera up to a messenger code. So if I then take my invite and I try to position it here in front of my camera, you can see it's taking me straight into the chatbot. Now that gives your customers a bit of a wow factor experience. You know, they've scanned into the chatbot. Obviously, this would all be personalized for your own business. And then when I click on Get Started, I'm going to start going into the chatbot conversation. So I'm just going to click Get Started. You can see it's pulled out my first name automatically. So anyone that's registered with a Facebook account, that will pull out their first name. We can then bring an image of your dealership into, or a video, for example, into the second part of the conversation. And then we're saying a little bit about our exciting sales event. It's not far away. We can bring in a promotional image of your event, and then it tails off with some huge discounts and offer you cannot afford to miss out. You can see they're built in a few emojis there just to give it that personal touch. We give the customer a couple of options: tell me more, not interested. So this is now bringing in the interactivity element. So if I click tell me more, it's now saying that's great to hear. Then we can insert obviously the details of your specific event. And then we can put what we call a gallery. So we can put in basically images of the offers. So it says offer 1 here, that could be an image. Offer 2, it could be an image. Then we've got the details of it, each individual offer underneath. We've got your exclusive offer code. I'll go through that with you in a second. And then the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so let's say we want to go to offer 1. So just click on details button. And then in there, we would put in your first offer. We can put in something that's sort of very compelling for your user, maybe another image or so, and some emojis again, just to make that a little bit more compelling. We can bring in their first name again to make it feel personal. So that's really sort of showing the basic offer page. If I then go to the offer code, so this is essentially giving the customer their own exclusive offer code. So if I click on Tell Me, this will basically give the customer their exclusive offer code. And what we can do is when they register for the event, we can then send them automatically a follow-up on the event details, where they've registered, how they've registered, and what their specific offer code is. And again, we can set that offer up as to however you want it to be. And if I just scroll across the Wheel of Fortune, I guess it comes back to, you know, we're trying to make this a sort of very interactive and fun experience for the user. So what we're saying here is we're giving all of our attendees a free gift, and that could be whatever you want, really. That could be like a free valet. It could be some merchandise, maybe something like that. Something that's sort of low cost to you, potentially higher value to a customer, but giving them a way to try and get into your business for the event. So if I click on spin the wheel, you'll see there there's a comment there just saying please wait a few moments after pressing the button below to let the wheel start spinning. So the bot's working in the background. What it's doing is it's using an algorithm in the background to choose a prize for me. And we set all this up in the background for you. You can see it's picked out. You've won a free valet. And again, that will be stored for that user. So when they come to get their event reminder, they'll be told that that's their prize. They can show it to a member of staff. But again, all of this is designed to try and get the user to register their attendance. You can see we've got a few options down here: register attendance, remind me later, or not interested. And depending on what that user clicks, they'll be taken down a different conversational flow. So let's say I'm really keen, I want to register attendance. You can see this bit up here. It says a text below is a notification from Total Chatbots Limited. So this is actually an internal message to me, and this would be an internal message to the business to say that somebody has clicked register attendance. So it will automatically notify you when a customer has decided that they want to register. So then it's asking for a few details. As you can see, it's asking to confirm my email address. I don't need to type this in. So the chatbot brings out that user's email and just asks them to confirm it. So all I need to do is just click on my email. Then it's asking for a contact telephone number. So I'm just going to punch that in. Just punch in my mobile. Then it's asking for a selected date and time. Again, we can remind the user of the dates of the event here. So I can just click select date and time. It then takes me to a calendar, and I can just pick a date and time from the menu. And then you can see I've got another internal notification here that's saying that I've just registered for the event, and these are the details of the customer. Since saying thanks, Wes, that's you booked in. We'll send you a reminder 1 to 2 days before the event, and it will also remind us of the offer code and the spin the wheel free prize. Now, what I can do if I go back into ManyChat now and just have a look at what's happened from the chatbot side of things. So let me just jump into our account here, because this is where the demo has been stored. Click on audience. You can see these are all the subscribers that we've had into our bot. You'll see on the right hand side here they've got all the various tags. So I'm the first person that's used that bot. You'll see sales event registered. There's me there. You can see that I've registered on the sales event, and these are the tags it's given me. I've now been tagged as getting prize A. I've been interested in the sales event. I click to register, and I've registered in the sales event. So I can then broadcast a message to all of these people within the chatbot, and essentially allow them to be given follow-up reminders to the event. We've got a post-event follow-up built in as well, so we can ask the user how they enjoyed the event. Is there anything that they could do better? Anything that the business could do better in the next event? All that kind of stuff. So there's a real sort of follow-up process that's in there that's all fully automated, designed to increase conversions to your event. So I'll just go back to the slideshow. So that gives you a good flavour of what the chatbot can do. Obviously, if you have any questions, then feel free to just send me a message on LinkedIn. I'm happy to do a one-to-one just to show you how the chatbot works. In terms of installation, so we essentially do everything with the chatbot installation. We'll customize the bot for your own dealership. We'll load it onto your Facebook page, and we'll provide you with all the reporting. So we'll put in any images that are relevant to your event, any video, any specific offers and event details. We'll give you your own personal chatbot URL, so you can email that out to your customers, and that will direct them to your chatbot. We'll give you your own landing page, so you can direct your customers to your chatbot via your own landing page. We'll give you your own specific messenger code that you can use to print on all your direct mail, your invites, your point of sale, any pop-up banners. If you've got a car in a shopping centre, for example, we'll give you a code that you can use to print. We'll use the comment to bot functionality for up to 3 Facebook posts leading up to your event. So we can create the post if you wish, and we'll activate the comment to bot function with a message to say, type event in the comments box if you want to know more, something like that. And again, all designed to increase engagement into your event. We can also do a targeted paid Facebook ad campaign. So Facebook ads, as you know, more generally driven towards driving conquest traffic straight into the chatbot. So we can set up a Facebook ad campaign within your Facebook feed that targets the users you want to target, and we can drive people straight into the chatbot. Essentially, when they click on the send message call to action within the ad, it will take them straight into the chatbot, and then they can have an interactive conversation on your event there. And remember, you've got all the insight that comes off the back of that. Then we've got the automated follow-up to any attendees that haven't made a decision on the event. We've got an automated reminder message to all registered attendees, so that will ensure that people who've registered will turn up. And then we have a post-event follow-up message to all registered attendees to gather event feedback. And again, we provide all that to you. And finally, we give you full analytics. So we tell you how many people subscribed, registration numbers, how many people opened up the broadcasts. So you've got this real proof of ROI in the background, again, regarding all aspects of your chatbot activity. So in terms of pricing, I'm sure you're all wanting to know what the pricing is. So the price for all of that is $499 plus VAT. So that excludes the Facebook ad campaign, because there's a bit more work involved in setting up the Facebook ads. But hopefully you'll agree, for the sort of level of personalization, that sort of wow factor, all the tools that you have at your disposal there to try and drive people into the chatbot, the wow factor experience through the rich content, and then all this sort of follow-up activity off the back of that. When you look at that compared to some of the options out there in the market, we hope you agree that $499 plus VAT for this service is really, really good value for money. If you want to include the Facebook ad campaign, there's an additional £100 on that package. That also excludes the ad spend, because the ad spend essentially varies depending on how much you want to basically push your event to your market. So you might want to spend maybe only £100 on your Facebook ads to drive people in. You might want to spend £1,000, but we can set up the Facebook ad itself in the background and link it to your chatbot. We do have an early bird discount offer. So if you order by the 31st of January, then we'll discount each of the above by £100 plus VAT. So again, have a think about what you want to do with your event. And as I say, just send me a message on LinkedIn. You can email us at hello@totalchatbots.com. You can also reach me on my mobile, which is shown on the screen below. As I say, I'm recording this webinar, so I'll send you a link out to the recording after this, and you can just run through at your own leisure. And that's it from me. So we managed to keep that within 40 minutes, which is great. So just want to thank you again for taking some time out on a Monday morning to join me on the webinar this morning. I know we've all got very, very busy weeks ahead, I'm sure. So thanks again, and I will hopefully speak to you soon. Bye just now.